Okay, homeowners, you got to pay attention. You really have to pay attention right now because everything is starting to stack up and not in your favor, guys. We've been on this amazing ride as far as equity being built on the, in the real estate community, but you guys know as well as I do that whatever goes up must come down, and there's a lot of things in place right now that is potentially going to shift that. Yeah, I know we have really, really low inventory still and way more demand. But when we start factoring all these different things in, especially what's happened today that I'm recording this video, what's happened today is, I believe, going to change the way things go forward from this point on. And so let's take a look at some of these things. And by the way, look, I argue with my clients, or my clients, my colleagues all the time. They're like, oh, there's no way the market's going to crash. There's too low of inventory, too high of demand. Rates are still good and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah. But you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me back in 2008 when everybody was standing around going, this is never going to come to an end. It's never going to end. This is crazy. Boy, we're just making money, right? As far as sellers goes, and buyers are like going, oh my gosh, how do we keep up with this, right? And so it was supply and demand, houses being sold. And then when the market did take a turn, granted, different reasons, every time it's different reasons. It's never always the same reason. Because that's one argument people throw at me. They go, oh, but that was different. Well, it doesn't matter, because every time there's a market crash, it's a different reason. But it always comes down to some sort of economics, right? Back then it was mortgage, the mortgage meltdown, right? Now it's pandemic. Now it's war. Now it's a few other things. Let's talk about those things right now. But I argue with them all the time. They say it's never going to be a crash. Guess what? There's cycles. I've been doing this for too long. I've seen too many of them. Go back to 1993, I think it was, when the market crashed then too. And I'm sitting there and everybody's standing around, looking around going, that's weird. Why is everything crumbling? Huh? And then they panic and jump on the roller coaster ride down, instead of seeing what's going on and going, you know what? Now might be the time to cash out. Ooh, Anthony, you're a doom and gloomer. Oh, well, whatever. You're an adult. You make your own decisions. I'm just sharing with you information to help you make a good, educated decision. And we'll talk about that some more too. But, so, like I said, everything's stacking up. So look, let's talk about the foreclosure moratorium. Let's start with that. That's not even the highlight of today. This is like old news. I've been talking about this for months. Where, that we knew the foreclosure moratorium was coming to an end. What did everybody think was going to happen when the foreclosure moratorium came to an end? And you had millions and millions of people on forbearances and deferments and other creative type of programs, right? So that they didn't have to make their payment for 2 years. And it's funny because I've had conversations with people, and I'm not saying you, I'm just saying in general, I've had conversations with people who have said, that their forbearance was coming due, okay, now we got to start making our mortgage payment and we got to start doing catch up because that's the terms that they agreed to, right? Whatever it was. And they're talking to me going, Anthony, I don't think we can do it. And I'm like, well, what changed? Did you lose your job? No, we didn't lose our job. We still got a forbearance. Whole other story, but whatever. We didn't lose our job. I'm like, well, what changed in your finances? And I go, well, since we weren't making a mortgage payment, we really wanted to take that trip. And they went on, some amazing vacation and spent, $15,000. And then because they weren't making a mortgage payment, they're like, gosh, well, we can afford that new Escalade now. Gosh, our mortgage payment was $3,500. We can certainly afford a $900 car payment, since we're not paying that. Not thinking that, gee, I'm going to have to start making my payment again. You know what I mean? And so we had a lot of those. So what did you think was going to happen when it came to an end? Well, I'm going to tell you what happened when it came to an end. So For example, right now, here, this is in Orange County, California. It's where I work. It's where I live. This is the area that I service, Southern California, but we're specifically looking at Orange County, California. And this is as of today, right now, February 24th. And these are all of the notice of defaults that are filed. Notice of defaults that have been filed since November 1st. I'm doing this since November 1st because we had the moratorium at the end of September. We had October, which everybody kind of went, okay, what do we do? And the lenders were even kind of going, okay, should we go ahead now? Right? But I'm just counting from November 1st. 284 notice of defaults filed in Orange County. Now, that's not a big deal number-wise, because if you break that down, it works out to be something like 60 or 70 per month or something like that, right? And so you look at that, and when you look at the whole number of homes in Orange County, it's like 650,000 or something like that. You go, but that's not that big. But I want to point out, in late 2006, maybe early 2007, I was in my office, selling real estate. It's what I was doing, right? And the TV was on. It was the news. And as at lunchtime, and the news anchor says, is this the end of this crazy real estate market? Because remember, at that time, if you were around at that time, the market was skyrocketing like it is now for prices, in demand, not enough homes, too many buyers, but prices were skyrocketing. And the news anchor said, foreclosures in Orange County, specifically Orange County they were talking about, foreclosures in Orange County double in 1 month, right? Like that was like the big, like, whoa. What? And it got me, as a real estate agent, I was like, what the heck? Double in 1 month? Because I hadn't been paying attention to foreclosures because, it was kind of like a thing where you go, well, wait a minute. I've got a bunch of equity. If I can't if I can't make my payment, I sell the house and I put a big bag of cash in my pocket. So there weren't really any foreclosures, right? So I ran to my computer and I said, how many foreclosures are there in Orange County? My God. I ran in, logged in, looked, and of course, typical news hype media, foreclosures doubled from 3 to 7. Whoa. Right? And I was like, stupid news media. I don't know what they're talking about. And I just kind of wrote it off as a fluke. Well, 6, 7, 8 months later, we're in a free fall. And I mean fast. And I can tell you this too, because I've been through this several times with the market. We always fall a lot faster than we go up. Always, every single time. So when we look at this, we go, okay, Orange County, there's 284. Look at, Aliso Viejo, you got 28. Anaheim, 27. Irvine, 25. Notice of default. Santa Ana, 22, right? Huntington Beach, Garden Grove, Laguna, and just a little smattering of them here and there, which, again, if you look at it in the big, giant, grand scheme, you go, that's not really that much, but it's starting to show a little bit of a trend. But here's what's really important and interesting is the second part of that. So when you're in default, you get a notice. It's a recorded document. It says notice of default. You're in default. You have 90 days to correct this. Okay? Well, when you go to the next step, it says, okay, 90 days have passed. You did not correct this. Now you get a notice of trustee sale. This is saying, okay, we are selling your house at auction on this date. And it's usually 3 weeks, around 3 weeks or 4 weeks or something like that. Okay? And remember this number, 284 notice of defaults filed. But when we look at notice of trustee sales filed, 465, almost 200 more notice of trustee sales filed than there were notice of defaults. How is that possible? Because you have to have a notice of default to even get to the point of notice of trustee sale. And normally what happens with notice of defaults is the notice of, let's say this many notice of defaults are filed. Some people will bring their mortgage current, so there's only this many notice of defaults remaining. Some people will sell their house, and so there's only this many remaining. So how do we go from having this many notice of defaults to this many notice of trustee sales? Well, it's because for the entire foreclosure moratorium, lenders were not allowed to foreclose, i.e. they couldn't do the notice of trustee sale and sell the house, okay? But they were still filing the notice of defaults. They still file the notice of defaults, and they technically don't expire, so they could have filed it, 2 years ago. And as long as you're still in default, when the moratorium lifted, all of a sudden, all of these, they said, okay, fine, here's all the notice of trustee sales. So now we got almost 500 notice of trustee sales, properties that are being sold at auction in Orange County, California. Okay, that's a sign. That's a little sign. That's a little trend. Okay, but not that big of a deal because we got really low inventory, low rates, all this stuff, right? Well, let's talk about that. Oh, and by the way, and it's funny because only 32 homes that were in notice of default, or at least reported as notice of default, were sold through the MLS. It appears that if a lot of these homes are being sold, they're either letting it go into foreclosure, which I don't know why you would ever do that. I have another video. I'll put a link up here somewhere that you can watch that says do not take, or do not let it go into foreclosure. And also do not sell your foreclosure property to a cash investor. Don't do it. You're going to lose a ton of equity right now and take a bunch of money out of your pocket. Watch that video. This is a whole separate video. So, but I guarantee you a lot of these people just called one of those ads that says, we'll buy your house for cash. And they gave away, a huge part of their equity. Don't do it. Okay. So let's go to the next part of this thing, of everything that's stacking up. And I spent a lot of time on that, but it's important. So interest rates are going up. We're hearing the stories, right? Yeah, but it's only a little bit. It's only a little bit here and there and blah, 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 and all that stuff, right? But you got to understand something. For every 1% that the interest rate increases, that takes away approximately $60,000 in purchasing power from the home buyer. Okay. So now if you've got, all these buyers, and then suddenly that buyer pool shrinks by this much for your price range, your home is in this price range. Okay. You got this many buyers. Oops. That now only this many buyers. Oh, went up again. Only this many buyers, right? And rates have to go up, with this inflation and all this stuff. The only way that we can deal with that inflation, or one of the only ways we can deal with that inflation, is for rates to go up. It's just a part of that process, right? And so if you look in here and just go do a search yourself, for yourself any day, see what's going on. Interest rates today. And you don't even have to, open the articles. But look, best interest rate today, whatever, February 24th. That's the day that I'm doing this. Rates trend higher. Rates stall at highest point in 12 months. Rates spike to pre-pandemic levels. Okay. Look at right here, APR 4.09%. So now we're breaching that 4% mark, right? And you can just go through and you can go through and look at the different articles and things like that. Look at 4.24%, depending on which program you're looking at, I guess. So rates are going up. And again, if they're going up, and they're going up pretty quick, we think of it as just, it's just little tiny increments, which it is. But if you look at it, as a trend compared to where it was just a couple of months ago, it's kind of going up pretty quick. Okay, so where's it going to go to? Well, I don't know, but let's consider the fact that, also, we've got all of our supply chain issues that we're still dealing with. We got all these, out here in Southern California, we got, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of containers sitting in storage yards because we don't have the people or resources or the trucking or the whatever it is because of vaccine requirements and things like that to get this stuff distributed. And then you've got, you got Canada blowing up. So let's stack this on. We got foreclosures, we got rates increasing, you got Canada erupting just into chaos. I mean, you can just see, if you're following any of that stuff, what's going on. And now the police are like moving in, and it's becoming full blown chaos. No other better way to put it. But there's been calls, not just by the truckers, but by people of the entire country to stop going to work. Don't go to work until this is resolved. Now, this is Canada. These are nice people. What the heck? Why are they even, fighting like this? Well, because they realize that they're being bullied and pushed around and, being asked to do what they don't agree with as a people by one individual. Okay. Who, I'm not going to get into that whole thing. I have my views, but it affects the supply chain even more, right? Because we have commerce that goes back and forth across the Canada borders, and the bridges are closed and whatnot. Truckers are shut down. People are deciding not to go to work to stand their ground against this. Does this affect us? Yeah. So add that. Foreclosures, rates increasing, Canada erupting. And then, of course, the news today, right? Let's play a little bit of this here. Russia's launching an attack on the Ukraine. Oh, wait, that's Russia. That doesn't affect us. Well, pay attention and watch and see, because it does affect us. Ukraine is a source of energy, right? Oil and things like that we have imported here. You can see that... you can look, just go do a search, Ukraine invasion, right? Oh, and I didn't spell it right, but invasion, you got, bombs and things going off. It's all over. Look at all the live coverage going on right now. It's a big, big deal. And as a result, look at oil prices, right? We thought gas prices were high already. Watch this. Now it's at $93 a barrel. And actually, and this chart actually might be a little bit behind, because I just saw something else that said that the cost per barrel actually went up over $100 per barrel. Okay, so do you think that that's going to affect us? Do you think that it's, especially here in California, where we got crazy taxes on our gas, where we're already at $5 a gallon? Okay, and so you just look at that, and then let's add this into the mix, right? So, well, that doesn't affect us. Yes, it does, because, we're part of NATO. And Article 5 of NATO that they keep referencing, I looked it up. I'm like, okay, what is Article 5? It says right here. Article 5 provides that if a NATO ally is the victim of an armed attack, each and every other member of the alliance will consider this act of violence as an armed attack against all members, and will take actions deemed necessary to assist the ally that is attacked. Well, we're part of NATO here in the U.S. Ukraine's part of NATO, right? And so that basically demands that we get involved. And I don't think we have the brightest bulb in the box steering the ship when it comes to all this stuff. That's my opinion. Take it or leave it. I don't care if you like it or not. And I have a feeling that it's going to put us in a situation where we're going to be in trouble. I'll tell you one of my biggest fears right now. I mean, for God's sakes, come on. Okay, look, historically, we always seem to have our hand in something, and this is the politicians, because I know it's not you that's saying, let's go get involved in the Ukraine. It's definitely not me. I don't want to do that. I want to go to work every day. I want to take care of my family. I want to, just live life the way that it's supposed to be lived, and have a good life. Let them live their life and all that stuff. But it's our politicians, it's people who are, seeking power and control and all that stuff. Figure out what all that stuff is. That, we don't have control over, really. And, but as a result, it really affects us. And my biggest concern, I'm going to tell you, when I saw that, we're going to go head to head with, um, with Russia. You got to be kidding me. Are we talking about World War III? I don't know, but it's freaking me out. And, so I don't know if it's freaking you out. Hey, comment on all this stuff that I'm talking about. I might be off my rocker, man. I might be crazy, lunatic, conspiracy theory guy, whatever. Put it in the comments. I'm interested in your opinion on all of this. But why I put all this together is because I wanted to share with you. I know there's homeowners that are sitting out there right now, and they're going to be just like it was in 2008, right? When the market was in a free fall and they were standing around going, "That's weird. Gosh, what's crumbling?" Right? And it's like a roller coaster. You get on a roller coaster and you're going up for the ride, and man, it's going to be so fun. It's great. It's cool. You're in anticipation. You've been looking forward to this. It's going up and up and up. Never seems like it's going to stop. And then you go down. But the difference is in an amusement park roller coaster. You go down, you get that adrenaline rush, and then you lived and you get off the ride and you go have fun on another ride, right? Well, in the real estate market, because I've seen this happen several times, it's kind of like coming over the top, and you start going down and people start screaming and yelling, and then that screaming and yelling becomes terror because they realize, oh my gosh, I've got equity flying out the window like it's nothing. And then they realize, holy cow, there's no track there. And then you got bodies flying everywhere. Sorry, that's being gruesome, but that's kind of that's what happens. I said we go down faster, way quicker than we go up in the real estate market, and it is absolutely true. So I'm telling you this because if you've been thinking about selling your house, it's something to seriously consider. It is something very serious to consider right now. I mean, like right now, because if you wait 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks down the road, and the thing I said that that's freaking me out is that I've got a 20-year-old son, I got a 16-year-old daughter, and we go head to head with Russia. I mean, are they going to start drafting? Something like that. It just makes me sick thinking about it, right? But if going back to your house, if you got a house and you've been thinking about selling, I'm saying, hey, probably now is the good time. So, but why would you do that? Well, especially like if you bought in the last 5 years or something like that, and you've got 100,000, 200,000 or more in equity, at least here in Orange County, California. I know that that's the case. Right? I've got people, I've sold condos to people in the last 5 years, and they're calling me up going, what the heck? I'm rich. Right? And I'm like, yeah, you're rich as long as you can hang on to it, because equity doesn't mean anything unless it's in your pocket, or you're leveraging it somehow. So if you're thinking about selling, now would be the time to do that. Where do you go? Okay, hey, Anthony, I sell my house. I get a whole big pile of cash in my pocket. And then then what do? I can't buy another house right away for anything decent. Yeah, it might be the time to rent. Okay, you've got a job. So you have your job, you're renting. Now you've got a big pile of cash sitting in the bank that now you can leverage. You can also live off of comfortably if you need to. If things really hit the fan, you're in a better position than somebody who's going, oh my gosh, I'm in my house. I can barely afford it. And I have no safety net, right? So definitely consider that. And I know there's some of you out there going, Anthony, you're just saying all this stuff because you want people to list their house with you so you can make a big bunch of money. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. That's why I only charge a 1% listing fee. That's right. You know what? I don't care if you believe that or not. My job has always been to look out for the best interest of my clients and the people I know, my friends, the family, everybody that I care about. And, that is what it is. And if you're a real estate agent and that's the comment that you're going to make, I don't look out for other real estate agents because, there's too many of us in this business that shouldn't be in this business. Okay, so there. That's what I had to say about that. I'm making enemies. Oh my gosh. So, but I'm curious. What do you have to say about it? Put it in the comments. And and if you are in the Orange County area or Southern California, anywhere in Southern California, actually, and you're thinking about selling, let me know. Yes, I would be happy to help you out. Yes, it does feed my family and put food on the table and shoes on their feet. But my promise to you is, we're going to do everything. We're going to go as hard as we can to make sure that you're maximizing whatever it is that you can get from the sale of your house moving forward. So guys, it's stacking up. It is stacking up, and you need to really think about some things, right? Just time to think about some things. So, hey, there's probably some other video popping up on the screen right now that you should watch too. So check that out. And we will talk to you soon. Take care.